Hey folks, welcome once again to another episode of There's Just Something About Kansas City, of course, where we have a conversation about the people, places, and things that make our city what it is and why we love it so much. And I have two of my favorites are in here today. Kathy Quinn, of course, everybody will recognize from her days and continued days at WDAF-TV over at Fox 4, and Ian Byrne, who is the lead singer of The Elders and also has his own woodworking company, which, folks, is his real job. Okay, everybody thinks, well, he's a musician. He travels all over. No, he works with his hands, and he does just incredible work. I'll tell you, it's just his woodwork is found in not only the United States, but also in Spain and Ireland, all over the world. Has a little Irish motif, and as soon as you hear him talk, you'll understand why. But Ian Byrne, he is the lead singer of The Elders, and we will talk a little bit about how that came about here. But the most interesting thing for you two, for me, is
here we go.
How did this happen? May I ask? Mexican girl from the north side, Kansas City, right? And you from Wicklow, Ireland, and
in the middle of the woods. I grew up in the woods out in the rural Ireland in County Wicklow, and about 40 miles south of Dublin on the east coast. Population of 10. You know, I mean, literally out
all
in the
relatives.
Yeah.
That's why you had to find me.
So I was there, kind of walking through the woods with a couple of pals. We were fishing.
It was a gang. It wasn't your pals. It was gang.
Yeah, it was. We were
gangs in those? I didn't.
We were
in
Ireland.
Ireland.
We were the only gang around. So if we ever had to have a fight or anything, we just fought each other. You know. So, but we were there and we were fishing and walking through, and I said, "What the heck is that?" And I'm looking down through the woods, and there's five black-headed girls, Mexican girls, walking through the woods, and that definitely wasn't an everyday sight for us. You know. So. But we started pelting them with the
Pine cones,
and one of them, they all ran away, and then except one, this one here, and she was like, "Come on and fight," and blah blah blah.
Fight like a man.
Yeah, I've been running ever since.
No, she's been fighting you ever since.
Exactly.
That's for sure. Okay, so and how old were you at that? How old were you then?
Do I have to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we were 12 and 13 or 13. Or
I was 13 and you were 15.
I was 15.
Remember now, I give a year.
Okay.
So we won't do any addition.
I was 13 and I think you were almost 15.
That's how I thought.
Okay, so 13 and 15.
So I was young, raring to go, lad.
You were just at the verge, weren't you? You were right. You're right on the cusp there with that gang of yours, and so you turned around. You wanted to fight them, and there he was. And
well, my sisters ran in and said, "These boys are throwing things at us, pine cones at us, blah blah blah." We were looking at the home where we were staying in the country, and it was a girl who was showing us around. Her name was Julie, and so I ran out, wanted to fight him. He took off. He couldn't take me, you know. So get down here and fight like a man. He took off and we ran in and we were telling her all about it. And she just started laughing. She goes, "Did he have long hair like, it was mullet days?"
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then the big wide belt bottoms and he had a red jacket.
You're starting to date yourself now.
Okay.
Okay, it wasn't me, it was you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And this red jacket, she said, "You guys, that's my brother."
Oh, gosh. So then it sort of connected from there, right? And so so you're a native from Ireland, okay? So that was your home. That's where you were born and raised and the whole thing there. What were you doing there?
So you speak about the Mexican-Irish because they have so much in common. My father was Irish and my mother was Mexican. She was from Mexico, and they both were singers. They both were their faith was important, their family was important, blah, blah, blah. So Dad is singing in a choir with a guy named Carlos Garcia. And they're singing. He goes, "Why don't you come over to my family's Mexican restaurant? We had the first one in Kansas City called Las Palmas."
Las Palmas.
They say it's the first one.
Yeah.
And so he came over and he said, "God, Carlos, your wife is so beautiful." And he goes, "That's not my wife. That's my sister." And it was my mom. And a year later, and then she thought that my dad, who brought my Irish aunt in to eat tacos, who never saw taco in her life, she tried to cut it with her fork and her knife, and then she just put a nice napkin over it. She didn't touch it. But she thought that was his wife. And then a year later, they're married.
Oh, gosh. So then,
So he always wanted to go back to Ireland. That's just the thing. I think it's the dream to go back to where you came from and all this.
Your
so
homeland.
He took all 10 of us.
Oh,
there are
wow.
8 kids, 2 parents, and took all of us over. He was an attorney. He had everything written down where we're going to go. We're going to stay at this castle. We're going to do this. I mean, he's very organized. We had a blast.
Yeah. Did he ever want to relocate back to his homeland?
No.
Okay. The United States was good for him. Okay. So you run into this guy, at 15, and then how did it go from there? Because you basically had to come back to the United States, and, thank goodness early on you left the pine cone thrower back in Ireland, right?
There was a lot of going back and forth, and Kathy used to come over every other year, and then I was about 18, I think, and then we moved to Scotland. My dad was a drilling engineer, geologist.
He was a miner, right?
Yeah,
geologist,
so he moved. He got relocated to Scotland, so we moved over there for a few years, and I think we were there for 5 or 6 years. And then I think I was 18 or 19 when I came back. We came back to Ireland, and the very same day we came back to Ireland,
you won't believe it.
Kathy hadn't been in Ireland for several years due to her sister being sick. So the same day we came back, we moved back. The Quinns came over as well. So it was.
So we're staying in the same home that they showed us around. This family of ours, friends of ours, Helena Burrows, and she's telling us, "Oh, you never guess who I saw up at the Cornell's Court," and I'm just helping her. We're staying at her house, helping her with everything and having a good time. She goes, "The Byrne family," and I said, "The Byrne family?" I said, "Which ones?
Radar?
Which ones?
I made an impression.
Antenna went up?
Yeah. I go, "Which ones?" She goes, "Well, they've just moved back from Scotland." And I said, "Oh, which ones?" Because I figured he was at an age where he could have been married.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
she said, and so-and-so and so-and-so and Ian is there. And I said, "See ya." I ran down the hill to the Meeting of the Waters. You need to go there sometime.
Right. I have that on here to talk about a little bit as well, yeah.
So that's what we went down there, and there he was.
Yeah, and so your dad was a geologist, and so he went to Scotland, and your mom, I'm going to assume, is raised in the family, like the traditional Irish family does, and you're in Scotland doing your thing. What were you doing at that same period of time?
I was doing an apprenticeship in cabinet making and carpentry. They call them joiners in Scotland and Ireland.
Okay.
So I was doing my apprenticeship in joinery.
Right, your dad actually got you interested in it, right?
I mean, I always wanted to be a woodworker ever since I could remember. My dad was a great woodworking hobbyist. He was a hobby about drilling. Obviously, engineering was his job. But he made all the furniture in the house and everything else. So I remember helping him when I was a young lad, and said, "I'm going to do this when I grow up," So
yeah.
And then I also used to love John Wayne movies. And,
I knew he was going to say
with Maureen O'Hara, of course.
No,
the Quiet Man.
Stay away from those Irish girls. Why do you think all of us Irish immigrate?
Uh-oh, you're going to get in so much trouble.
Get a lot of trouble. It's Ian Byrne, of course, the lead singer and a carpenter. He's lead singer of course, the Elders, and Kathy Quinn from Fox 4. You all know, as she graces us every morning.
And the merch girl.
And the merch girl.
For the
That's
Elders.
right. That's
you need a T-shirt. You need a hat.
This is funny because we're down. We've seen Ian and the Elders many, many times. But there's Kathy, they're singing and having, the fans are going crazy. There's Kathy over at the merch table hawking T-shirts.
Who else will do it?
The CDs. And here we go over here. It's really some funny stuff. Do you sing?
They won't let me.
They won't let you sing?
No.
She's a great singer.
Yeah.
She sings every morning to me.
No, yeah. Oh, here we go.
Please get up.
Please get out to work.
Music has been in our family for a long time. My parents met. They were both singers. Dad was an Irish tenor. Mother was a torch singer.
Oh, wow.
And she even had her own group called the Las Palmas Trio.
Oh,
and we have records. I have any records if you want to buy those too. But no, we all sang as a family. I mean, everybody sang.
Yeah,
and we all play instruments.
Right. And the deal is, if you ever go to Ireland, and God bless you, got to go. I don't care what nationality you are. Yeah. You got to go to Ireland at least once in your life. But that's all they do there is sing. All the pubs, everywhere you go, there is live music. So there are people that are just, and I mean, there are some just incredibly talented people over there that, like you, they do that for fun and have a great time, and maybe they make a little money on the side. But then they go back Monday through Friday. They're working their jobs, whatever they may be.
They call them sessions. Ireland love their sessions, and they usually start around about closing time. The guy went, last drinks, no, last orders. No, let's sing a song.
I think that's what it is.
About 4, so because everybody wants to keep the bar open.
Yeah,
I know how this works.
Going all night.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you start singing?
I'm actually a very shy lad. You know, and I'm not. Believe it or not, nobody seems to believe
If
that.
you ever seen him on stage, I know you're going to have a little trouble with that. But go ahead.
Well, I never thought I could sing until I joined this band back in Ireland, and it was a 3-piece band, and I was playing drums with them, and I was playing. I'm a drummer, you know. So
Right.
banging on the drums, and next thing they said, "Well, Ian, sing along on this one, will you?" It's harmony. So the harmony turned into more harmonies, and then they had me sing. I can't remember the first cheesy song I sang.
Flamingo.
No, oh yeah, on a block, no, pretty flamingo. Who's that? Beach Boys song or something?
No, not Herman's Hermits. It's I can't think of it right now.
Pretty flamingo, whatever.
Okay.
And then the next one was. What was the next song I learned? Was Run, Delilah, Run.
Oh, Run, Sansom, Run. Delilah's on her way.
Run.
Oh, God.
I mean, maximum cheese, you know. So, but then I figured, you know,
I can sing.
God's given you this talent, boy. Open your mouth and sing. So
Yeah.
here I am.
Yeah.
Many decades
Just
later, still doing it.
unbelievable. Yeah.
You know.
Let's talk a little bit about the Elders. Okay. I think they were founded in 1998. Was that before
That's right.
you got here?
Yeah,
Was that- it was
no,
just-
I've been here since
Oh, you-
87.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
You'd been here
America.
since 87. But I think their lead singer at that time was Michael Bliss,
That's
right?
correct,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
correct? And did he found the Elders?
No, Norm and Brent Hode, Norm Daler and Brent Hode were living in Los Angeles, and there's a place down there called Molly Malone's, and they used to go there and watch like all the Irish bands, and Flogging Molly and all those lads were all friends of ours, and
Yeah.
so they used to watch them, and then they were just getting burnt out on the LA deal, you know, and they say, hey, let's go back to Kansas City and start a Celtic band.
They were all originally from here?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
all
okay. Boy,
Kansas
that's
City
funny.
boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mike Bliss, then he joined the band, and then Steve Phillips, God bless him. Steve is no longer with us, but Steve joined them then, and he was of the Rainmakers, and
Right.
and Steve, Bob, and Rich, and so.
How'd they find you?
They
Or
found
did you
me-
find them?
we found each other. Kathy and Cynthia Hode, we both have daughters who were playing on the soccer team for Curie.
Let me
Okay,
tell
sure,
this.
yeah.
Can I tell this part?
Yeah, sure.
So, Curie of ours, we'd homeschooled our kids for several years, and they were going back into the school system. So I didn't really know a lot of these people. And so I'm at a game, and these mothers are all together talking. I'm like, oh God Almighty. So anyway, Cynthia was there by herself, and we just started talking. And Ian was in Ireland recording a CD for another group called Avoca, I believe.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there and I go, okay. She goes, well, so what does your husband do? And I thought, okay. Well, he's in Ireland. Of course, he's recording a CD, thinking I'm so cool. And, you know, I didn't, whatever. And I said, what does your husband do? And she goes, oh, he plays with the Elders. We had just watched them in Westport. And at the Brookside, I think we
right,
were
yeah.
crazy about him. We had no idea. And so then she got that in her brain and then invited him over for the Christmas and
And then it went on. So they invited me to a party over there at their house, and we got to meet them all, and then Mike Bliss had got another offer to on the East Coast somewhere for a job.
Yeah.
Or his wife got an offer or something. Anyway, they were moving to the East Coast, and they did so, and they were looking for a singer. So they said they presented it to me. Would you like to join the band? And I had I have no intentions of joining any band called the bloody Elders.
And you just didn't like the name, right?
Yeah.
Was that right?
I mean, that was 20 years ago, and it was fun at the time, but now it's getting serious. You know?
You know, right? And now it's starting to come to fruition, isn't it? Like they all do, yeah.
I went in with a couple of rehearsals with them and tried a few of the songs, and you know, I said, you know, I went to Kathy. I said, these lads want me to join them, you know, and I gave up the music industry a long time ago, back in Ireland when we started having children. I said, okay,
Yeah.
rock and roll and babies just doesn't match. That's like oil and water right there.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely, right.
So I just decided to come over to America and concentrate on my woodworking business, and never had no idea I'd get back into the music business, but here I am.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Traveled all around the world, and we've made 9 CDs and 3 DVDs. And
Gosh, that's incredible. And you're going, this is sort of an evergreen show, but you're headed back to Ireland. And
heading back to Ireland
yeah,
in
you're gonna-
October.
yeah,
we're
right,
doing our
exactly.
tour again,
Yeah.
which is a blast. We've done that for 18 years in a row now.
Wow.
We literally bring like a couple of hundred people with us, and on buses, and we just drive around in buses and do the tourism thing during the day, and look at dead people and all that kind of stuff. And nighttime, set up the gear, and
Ian.
Look at dead people.
Good Lord.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. And Kathy, for you too, meeting up with him and then having to go through all this, you've had the kids, you had the kids are all getting grown now. And you got the band. Sometimes got to play at night during the week. Sometimes I think most time you probably try to push it to a weekend, but you've got to practice. Yeah. You've got all kinds of things like that. Plus you have your full-time job woodworking stuff. It makes it tough to balance everything, doesn't it?
Flat out 7 days a week.
That's what I mean. You're going 7 days a week, right?
Yeah. Let me just.
And then you have the TV thing. And yeah,
but we always, I've always loved him with his music. I think it's great. Even in Ireland, I was doing Radio Nova, and I would be up in the morning and he'd be coming in at night. I'd be going to work and he'd be just coming in. I mean, that was kind of like it was now. But
no wonder you're still married.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, the TV, and I started getting up for the early morning show. I remember starting over at this one station where you both and I have been there, and the boss said, "What do you want to do?" Because they hadn't much of a news program. I go, "I want to do a morning show." He goes, "We don't have one right now. What do you want to do?" "I want to do a morning show." "We don't have one." I go, "But that's all I want to do," because I wanted to be able to balance
keep
everything.
Your lifestyle and keep it so that one of the two of you is there for the children, which is the really way to do it. And I remember working those nights. I'd go in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I wouldn't get home until midnight, unless we were going to Kelly's for a Thursday night club. And then again, a little bit later than that as well. But
I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, you just go through that and then go through at night, and then, get up and, the whole thing. So
I think the thing is we do support each other, whatever we want to do. We don't say you're not going to do that, even though it got a little rough when he traveled all the time. But, and at the wood shop, I work there too.
Yes.
I've asked him to fire me.
Yeah.
He won't fire me. I don't want to work, but no, I go over there to help.
What are you doing with him?
She's the cutest office manager.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I work on the books and stuff like that.
Well, that's good.
I have sanded too. Don't worry. And I've moved furniture too.
I'm sure he'll make you do those
I know.
things. Yeah.
All my kids have done that.
Exactly.
That bring your kids to work thing?
Yeah, right.
I remember
you for the year. Yours is every day.
I brought my kids to work one time, and I had them all working on the saws and working on making jigsaw puzzles.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
You get a picture, you stick it on a piece of cardboard, and you get on the scroll saw then and cut it into shapes. And I had my kids doing that. And next thing, Kathy calls me. She says, "Everybody's calling the station. They're saying, why do you have your children working on those saws?"
Because we did some live shots with them. That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but what a great way for the kids to learn, maybe learn that they might want to do that, or they have that in them, like you did.
My daughter Caitlin has built her own deck. She's done all her own. She knows how to plaster. She knows how to fix sheetrock. Yeah, she's done it all. And and my son Kean helps me all the time. And Andrina builds sets, and she's in the movie business, and she literally builds all the sets herself, and she's always astonishing all these directors and all these other people.
That's
she knows
amazing.
how to do it. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's amazing. And in your family, of course, Las Palmas, which was, I think, the original Mexican restaurant in Kansas City.
That's what I
The
understand.
whole family got a big award, right? Didn't you? When that was 2005, you got the Legacy Award.
Legacy Award
for your mom in her restaurant and stuff. I think people have lost that, idea that your family was just incredible.
I just got a text the other day. I get texts and messages all the time. I remember your family's chile con queso. Would you give me the recipe? No. No. Do you remember it? No. Yes, I do. I'm not giving it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But people still.
No, you're not kidding.
I know. People still talk about that, where they came in for Christmas. You see my grandmother's nacimiento, which was the nativity scene and beautiful artwork and stuff that the Mexicans do. They still talk today. How many years is that? People I went to high school with, oh my God, we used to go to your place all the time. Yeah. They'd come and pick me up to go to games after the restaurant because we had to work first. We didn't get off for games, so things like that. But it was fun. It was the best time, and it was fabulous. But we learned to work. We were there, and I think it kept us out of trouble.
I'm sure. And how long was the
30 years?
30 years. And when was the last time the doors were open?
I can't tell you. I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember? Okay, but it's
been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Well,
you know what?
Wasn't it?
I don't remember. No, I know. You know what? Our first restaurant was at 45th and Prospect.
Right.
And so it was beautiful. If you look on fox4kc.com, it's got my bio and it shows the beautiful restaurant. Then we moved to where Corner Cocktails is. That was our restaurant. My dad built that.
Oh, Corner Cocktails is.
So it went from Mexican to Irish.
That is
85th and Warren.
I've been there. In fact,
I knew he would know it.
My son-in-law, asked my daughter to marry her in Corner Cocktails.
Oh my goodness!
And he's a good Irish boy. He's in Ismert. Okay, Adam Ismert. And
That's right. I forgot about that.
We had a Jameson's. We had a shot of Jameson. More than one. We had more than one shot of Jameson's right there that night as well.
Did you say yes? You said yes then.
Of course. Oh God, he's a great guy. He's just awesome. He's a great guy. I just know he's going to always take care of her and Isla, their baby. So he's really a good guy.
She's got hundreds, thousands of cousins.
Oh God, well I know that because there's two sides of the Ismert family. We all know that too.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so and you also, Kathy, besides all the work you do at Fox 4, especially with the Pay It Forwards and even more than that, the Child's Prayer, which is the Doctors for People who don't know. Kathy has, does tremendous work in charity, but the doctors working with kids with cleft palates. And I know that has to be so rewarding, so fulfilling for those kids to be able to get rid of that and go on with their life without having consciously, thinking about things of that nature.
We don't understand that here.
No,
the group is called Medical Aid for Children in Latin America. And one year I went with my brother, Dr. Quinn, and he said, "Now he's my older brother. And you come on, you've got to pay attention and behave. And we're in another country where they don't treat women the same, and it's just different." Right. So myself and one of our photographers went out with one of the people who came into the clinic. Her child had a double cleft palate, and so I wanted to go back and see her home. Well, the Peace Corps said, "No, you're not going to go." And I said, "Come on, let's go." I'm glad we were safe, but the woman told them to leave us alone. As we went to her home, we got off the bus and people were coming to us. They're probably going to rob us with all. Anyway, her home was like a little shack. She had all these kids. My brother still keeps in touch with her. We went back. I only went there. It was beautiful. They have 600 people every day in clinic. The thing that I love about it is they pay for it themselves. The doctors pay for themselves. They collect all the medicine themselves. It's not a huge organization. It's pretty local. And then I have two nephews who go. One's going to be a doctor, and then the other one helps. But what happened? Our news director at the time said, "No, you can't go and do that story. We can't afford it." Everybody does those kind of stories. But I said, "No, this is different." Well, my news director then said, or the GM said, no, the news director said, "Go ahead, do it. We'll figure out where to find the money." And I love her, Lynn Hyder. And so we came back and we entered it. It's called The Child's Prayer, a 3-part series. It won an Emmy.
Yes.
And I wanted to give it to the GM. And
yeah, here.
I won't say his name.
Do
you know what that's like?
I know exactly what it's like. You kidding? They used to always yell at me about money.
Oh, God.
Well, I didn't care. We're going anyway. It's just how many people you send and doing the whole thing. So doing a skeleton crew, you want to have enough people there to make the story
There
really
were just
work.
2 of us.
I know, just
and
two
I
of
had
you
to carry the
working on it.
lights and everything.
Yeah, sure.
But it was worth it.
It's a simple
You learned that over at the carpentry shop, doing all this stuff. You kidding me? You should have been down there building the houses.
Right.
Yeah.
But their cleft palate and everything is like they're alienated from all their people because when they see a child or something, or they think they're possessed by the devil.
Yes.
And so people, they're living like recluse. They're living in the jungle and everything else because they've got a cleft palate.
One year he did a gentleman who was in his 60s who he didn't even know he lived on an island, the Dominican Republic. He didn't know it. He was up hidden. Okay?
Oh, I see what you mean. He didn't know he was on
Didn't
an island,
realize
right.
where he was. They kept him away. He got it fixed up. Oh, man, he came down. He was ready to get married.
Yeah.
He came down, and that changed his life.
Yes, I think it would change anybody's life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, we have no idea about the taboos that they have and the religious beliefs they have and all those things.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's so different than what we have here in the United States.
Gosh.
And, what we have here right here in Kansas City. That's why there's just something about KC. People like you two.
Yeah.
You went to where'd you go to high school?
I went to Bishop O'Hara High School.
O'Hara. Okay, fine. That's the one thing I couldn't find out about you. I knew you went to UMKC, and then I saw it in the bio. You ended up doing traffic and weather in Ireland, and I'm going, they have traffic in Dublin? I didn't know they had traffic. I know they have weather, but I wasn't sure. And so, was that part of your educational deal at UMKC? Was that before you graduated, or did you graduate and that was your first job?
I can't think.
Can you remember?
No, that was I'd already graduated.
You'd already graduated.
I had done cable vision here in Kansas City, so I did TV here. They used to have a local thing. Do you remember it was called Kansas City Today or Kansas City Alive or something like that. So I did that for a long time, and then I went over there, started at a country radio station called WLCB.
Wait. Country radio station?
No.
In Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead. All right.
And the women didn't really like me on there. They just wanted men on there.
Yeah, right.
And they talk about the pigs and what they cost and the cows and all that kind of stuff. So a guy
The Farm Report.
So I loved doing that. But then Radio Nova, I auditioned for Radio Nova, which was a big top 40 radio show up there in Dublin. So, I mean, just imagine 40 to 60 miles, totally different world.
Yeah. Were you married then?
Yes.
You were already married. Mm-hmm. So then were you actually thinking then about staying in Ireland at that point? You two? Or were you still like just experimenting with the world?
We were floating around. We weren't really sure what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kathy was over there in Ireland, and we were doing our thing. I was playing in bands, and Kathy was doing the radio. So we didn't have time to think about what's next.
We were just having fun.
And then Kathy's dad wasn't in good health. He had some problems, and Kathy went home, and then at the same time there were problems with Gaddafi in America, and America went over and bombed Gaddafi.
That's right.
And there was like a 90% cancellation in all tourism. Tourism just went down, and Ireland's main source of income is agriculture and tourism.
And tourism, yeah.
And we had shops and places closed down that were open for hundreds of years, and the unemployment was up at 50, 60%. Or so. It was awful. So then we decided we'd go over and keep an eye on Kathy's dad and come to America. And I said, and Cian was born then, and he was a little lad. So he was 6 months old.
Once you get the family started,
so just things change.
But tell him about. Tell him. Do you want to tell him about Bono calling you?
Oh,
go on.
Go ahead and name drop. We love it here.
Bono. Yeah.
Bono, you too.
You too.
Go.
No, I mean,
that band, that little band. It was.
I was going to be doing this big drum thing with Larry Mullins. The two of us were going. It was a new series. There was a series that was going to be on Welsh television, and then RTE in Ireland were teaming up, and we'd gone to rehearsals, and we were getting ready to do this thing, and it was getting ready to be released, and they dropped it. They ran out of money, or whatever the heck. So that's my claim to fame with working with you two. But they're great lads they are.
Was it close for you there? And do you ever look back and?
No, you can't be too serious about the music business. I mean, we've all heard people that are number one, and you say, how the heck did they,
how'd that group get one?
Yeah, and then you've got these other bands that are absolutely brilliant, and they go nowhere, So it's just a weird deal.
What I love about him and about Cian plays with him also.
I know his son.
They're not really. Yeah, they're not really. I always tell him that it's his son, that I'm the trophy wife. It's really just his son.
She's trying to kick this birthday thing back
I know,
a long way here, pal. You know
I feel
what?
like a dirty old man.
Listen to me. You're getting older by the minute, by the way, okay?
It's a Latina thing. But what I love about it is they don't play to be somebody.
Right.
They love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And our son's the same way.
And anybody out there, I'm sure if you've seen The Elders, I mean, it's just the whole audience gets involved. I mean, it's just not like you're sitting up there and waving your cell phone that has the flashlight or the lighter on it or whatever.
We've got an amazing fan base.
You do have an amazing fan base. It's just incredible.
They're very passionate, and they're very passionate about the lyrics and everything else. So we're very careful how we write, and we try to stay out of the politics and no mean stuff.
Exactly.
I write songs about stories that I hear a lot from our fans here. They'll tell me about their family and how they came to Ireland or something, and it'll spark a little story, and so that's what all our lyrics are all about. So
yeah, that's incredible. Now the family's involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Drumming back there. So
yeah, the whole shebang.
Talk about him a little bit.
My son has been with us now for 7 or 8 years now.
Oh, it's longer than that.
Yeah, maybe it is.
It's way longer than that.
It is?
Oh, yes.
So I don't know how long he's been with, but anyway.
Well, he's been with you for a certain amount of time anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
from birth
I think
till
2012.
now.
Yeah, but he joined the band, and he's been absolutely hitting. He's a musician. I'm an entertainer. He knows how to play everything, and I don't. I just sing and talk. But he's a brilliant musician. He plays guitar and violin. Started off violin. Used to play with the youth symphony, and
wow.
So yeah, he's a great mandolin player, guitar player, bass player, great drummer. He's the drummer with the Elders. Also plays acoustic guitar and mandolin with the Elders, and bass guitar actually.
Yeah. Does he play with anyone else? Does he?
He's got.
Does he have a little rock and roll
he's
group?
He's got so many bands going. I have no idea. How many, he's got reggae bands and country bands and all kinds of bands.
Ian Byrne music. You can see them all there. He's got Yum. He's got New Rhythm. He's got, who else?
I don't know.
Oh, Grizzly Handy plays with them sometimes. He plays
Yeah.
the fiddle with them. Oh, no, he plays, the fiddle and the drum. I don't remember.
Yeah, see?
Gosh, yeah, that's incredible. Talk a little bit about now. Okay, so you got Ian Byrne, the woodcrafter, of course, and Kathy Quinn's TV and radio and the merch girl and all, she's bilingual, she's an auctioneer, she does everything you could possibly do. But to talk a little bit about, you paint as well, and we were talking about this. This is where we talked about the meeting of the waters. Mm-hmm. Is that Avoca? Mm-hmm. Avoca, right? The meeting of the waters, and you paint. And I know you've painted there, and you have all. And I'm sure you've probably done some stuff here. How much is that your passion as well?
I love painting. I've always been painting. I always got A's in my art class, and I always went out.
Well, at least there was something.
Yeah, I know. Actually, art and history.
There you go.
Were my two subjects, and everything else was boring.
Sure.
But painting, I love painting acrylic. I do like a lot of abstract acrylic type stuff, and it's great. It's good for the mind, But you gotta get into that mood. It's hard to get into that mood, which requires you being relaxed and just saying, okay, I think I'll paint.
Yeah,
it's hard to get there, you know.
Well, good luck with everything you do
I
too,
know,
because I
it's too
think
much
for
going
you, I don't know because I don't paint, but I think it's an escape. I think you can go sit by yourself and be alone, which you rarely are.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
In what you do,
I've got a little cabin down at Truman Lake.
Okay,
and go down there. And
little fishing cabin.
Whenever I can, little fishing, do some fishing and do some painting.
Oh, that's nice.
Cook a steak and drink a bottle of wine.
Now you're talking. Yeah. No Jamesons. No.
Little drama Jameson right before bed.
Right before bed.
Boy, it's better than a CBD gummy. Okay, I'll put it that way. And for you, all the things you do, we're going to talk about your movie career just for a moment here. And the scene that wasn't quite deleted that, first of all, you were in what? You were in Article 99, right?
Article 99.
Was that the first one?
No.
Okay, so you were in Mr. and Mrs. Bridge first. We'll talk about Article 99 because Mr. and Mrs. Bridge is way more interesting than the Article 99.
Article 99 was a blast. But they shot that where I was born at St. Mary's Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so cool.
So how did you get on their list to be an extra or to do anything?
So the casting director contacted me. I think, she
did he see you on TV?
On TV and on radio.
Okay, all right.
And so she just called and said, we need some ethnic people.
Okay.
And we're looking for
one of those dark-haired beauties, right?
Black-haired. And she said, we're looking for some ethnics. And I said, I can bring some ethnics with me. So I brought a bunch of my sisters and my best friend, and we went down there for the cattle call just for the fun of it.
Sure.
And so it took 4 different interviews. The final one was James Ivory of Merchant Ivory. And he goes, now, Miss Quinn, how old are you? And I was supposed to say, I know, what a question. And I turned around and go, how old do you want me to be? The girl was 19. I was not 19 at the time. Yeah. So, yeah. And so
you were 18?
I was
16 maybe?
20.
Okay.
But Robert Sean Leonard was my boyfriend.
Okay.
My boyfriend. But and then Paul
in the movie.
In the movie.
Article 99.
Yes. And Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward were in it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Mr. and Mrs. Bridge.
Oh,
I was
I'm
talking
sorry.
about Article 99.
Oh, see, I have ADD. Okay, so
That's
Article
okay.
99.
You were a walk-on in that one, right?
Leah Thompson, Thompson. And the big scene was Kathy Baker and Ray Liotta.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so we were in the cafeteria, and I didn't have a line, but I made my own line. So that I got my SAG card from that. So we're in there, and he's telling me something, or they're talking, and he said, "Would you mind leaving?" I go, "Oh, okay. Do you want me to leave?" Or I forget what I said to her, whatever. And I didn't plan on saying that. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I got moved up, and I got my own dressing room. So I got a line. I got my own dressing room. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Bridge, you had a role in that movie. Talk about that a little bit because it was shot here in Kansas City. It was Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, correct? Mm-hmm. And it was shot here in KC. The whole time is a big to-do here in town. And there you are in Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. Talk about that just a little.
Paquita was her name. She was a girl from the other side of the tracks. Of course, the book was written by Evan Cannell, who went to Southwest High School. Uh-huh. And a lot of great people came from there. Robert Altman came from there as well. And he's related to his kids are related to, or his nephew, to the Ismerts.
Yes.
FYI.
Everybody's related to the Ismerts.
So when we went, obviously, to audition for that, I didn't even care. This is going to be a lot of fun. And when they said, did you want to do it? And I said, yeah, I'd love to do it. And I played a 19-year-old. And we had a ball. The days were very, very long. Joanne Woodward was so sweet. Paul Newman was very quiet. Robert Sean Leonard was hilarious. We just had a blast. But you could tell that it was something I wouldn't want to do. It's just a different life.
Yeah, it is.
You don't have a family. You don't. I just felt like that. Now, maybe it was because I was way down there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you work for maybe 3 months on a movie or something. I don't know if that's a long period of time or not, depending on the movie, I guess. 3 to 6 months, and all of a sudden you're off for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're sort of living off of whatever it was that you had to do. I think
Sounds
that'd be
pretty
tougher.
good to me.
Okay. Sounds real good to me. Okay. I thought I was retired. Okay, and here I am. Okay, but so Ian hasn't seen the final cut of the movie.
Why do you have to bring this one up?
And you have to go through the movie, and there was a scene in the movie.
It was the
premiere.
The premiere. I went to the premiere, and all of a sudden, Kathy, can you please come and get me some M&Ms and Coke?
I did.
And I'm like, right now? Yeah, please.
I said, really?
Please. I mean, really, I'm just dying.
dying.
And I didn't cop onto this at all, but she was wanting to get me out of the cinema for this particular. So I go out and I get this M&Ms and the Pepsi, and I come back
in.
And it's over, So, like, years later, I'm sitting watching TV, and Kathy's in bed, and it's like, and I'm halfway through my second bottle of wine, and I'm sitting there watching some movie, and anyway, and this movie comes on. I said, yeah, that's that Mr.
Oh,
so I sat there and watched it.
Oh boy!
And then the scene.
You saw
comes
the
on,
M&M scene.
The M&M scene where my wife is in the back of the car and she's kissing and snogging this lad. And
snogging.
They were buried in each other. So I got up and I said, flipping. I said, get up. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning and she's fast asleep. I said, you slut. I said, what the bloody...
I go, what's wrong? What's matter? What's the matter?
What's wrong with you? I just watched a bloody movie and I just saw you in the back of the car with that Leonard guy,
I saw the M&M scene, which will be forever. No, I think that is classic.
That's hilarious.
I don't know how these husbands and wives do it. Looking at your wife getting,
Well, of course, if you look, too, they've been married 4 times.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
It's tough.
In the whole deal.
Business,
that is a tough business because... You're out there, and it's like being in a band.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of times they got the groupies and the hangers on, and ones that are in the hotel lobby waiting for you to get back, and
banging on the hotel,
banging on the door, and how'd they find out your room number, and all those sort of things. It's just one of those.
It's like a legendary sportscaster, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. Nobody was banging on my door. Hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning. I guarantee you that much. Okay. I might have been banging on. I tried to get in my hotel room because I had no idea what was going on. But you talked a little bit about the other Irish bands. They're still pretty prominent here in town. You still have a bunch. Have you ever thought just to have an Irish band fest period? Just a bunch of Irish bands get together and have this big to-do on a holiday, St. Patrick's Day?
We do it every year at the Kansas City Irish Festival.
There you are. So you all get together?
Yeah. There's bands. There's, oh my goodness, I'm not really sure how many bands they have, but 20, 30 bands probably for the festival. And it's...
from all over the world.
From all over the world, yeah. A lot of bands come over from Ireland, and we've all become friends from the touring all the different festivals all around the country, and... you'd go to the festival and we all do our shows during the festival, but the biggest fun of all is when you go back to the hotel afterwards.
Yeah.
And all the bands get together around the big table.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, and we all play and sing with each other, and that's
because that's what they do in Ireland.
Yeah,
they call it trad. Is it trad?
Session. Yeah.
A session.
Yeah, trad
session.
Trad is an abbreviation for traditional music.
Okay,
So traditional, and but there's a lot
it's
of
almost
trad
like
bands, there's rock bands, there's folk bands, there's dancers, there's everything.
And they call it jam session here, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
People just come and start playing. A couple other guys come and start playing with them as well. Yeah,
and that's what they call them, a session.
Yeah,
session.
Yeah,
and that's fantastic.
That's just incredible.
Yeah.
Tell me just a couple of the things that you are really proud of with your woodwork and where it is housed and where some of your woodwork is on display.
The last few years, we've been doing a lot of, we've got into the church a lot of the churches were subsidized and financed by the dioceses of their areas. And a lot of these churches, these more rural churches now, are being kind of financed by their parishioners. So they're not under the thumb of the diocese. Oh, you'll do it this way, you'll do it that way.
Yeah, right.
Like the 80s and 90s.
Under sort of strict law type thing, church law.
And sticking by this architecture and all this. But anyway, so a lot of the churches in the 80s and 90s, they're like ski lodges, you know. You go in there and it's just big wooden. But now they're going back, a lot of them are going back now to the old traditional Gothic and style, and
for the
Romanesque
pews
style
and the altar and the whole thing. Right?
So we're doing a lot of altars, and communion rails are now becoming very popular in churches again as well. You know, so which is great, and that's good for me because I love to build communion rails and build Gothic and Romanesque altars, and so
yeah.
So I mean, I've got these altars going all around the country. We're building them all around the country. I've built a beautiful altar for the Basilica in St. Louis. And we met. There was an old 15th century marble altar there that's beautiful, and I got commissioned to match that and to duplicate it. You know,
in wood.
In wood.
Oh,
and then do a marble finish on it. You know, so that's a beauty. It's on our website, byrnecustomwood.com. You can have a look at pictures.
Byrnecustomwood.com.
Yeah,
absolutely.
BYRNE customwood.com.
Yeah, right. You know, there's an Ian Byrne who's the British political labor.
That's right, yeah.
You ever get mistaken for?
He calls me all the time.
Go, hey, can you take this call for me? Okay, one of those, yeah, which is pretty fun. And I think that's great. You're paving your way to the end, aren't you? You're paving your way, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guilt there.
God's going to have white gloves. He's going to have white gloves on when I get to the door.
Mr. Byrne.
Come on in, lad.
Ian, put his arm around you. Come on in, son.
Give me a glass of Jameson. You
know? Give me one. Yeah, give me a glass or two of Jameson, maybe half a bottle of wine. And not altar wine either, by the way. So, and Kathy, the things you're doing, the pay it forwards, everything you do at Fox 4 is just incredible. And
I love it. We were thinking about it. We were talking about it today. I've been doing it 15 years.
Yes, it's
so you know who we just did
phenomenal.
Yesterday? John Brown, the boxing coach.
Oh yeah, sure, Turner Boxing.
I love him. Now, he was a famous coach for Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison. Didn't you interview him?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. In fact, we did the first interview ever with Tommy Morrison back in my day.
That was exciting. I remember.
I think he was 6-0 at that time. He said, "You've got to go see this kid." And I'd known John for a while, and he's always come on, we got the Golden Gloves coming, we got this. So I'd known John for a long period of time. So we in fact, I'll probably have him in here now. I'm glad I'm going to put that down. John
they
Brown.
just they nominated him. One of the guys from the Turner district there, the Turner Recreational District, nominated him. We surprised him. He goes, "What are you doing?" I mean, he's just hilarious.
Yeah, he's a
funny guy. And I said,
guy.
"Are you Irish?" He goes, "I'm part Irish." I said, "I could tell.
I know. And the funny part is, one of the last time I saw him. I see him every once in a while, and then I get his emails all the time, and all the Turner Boxing emails. So I still get them. I still keep them. And they do such great work with those kids. I mean, that's keeping kids off the street and keeping kids out of trouble and doing something physical, to get. If they're angry, there's no better way to get it out than doing that, something that physical type deal. But, I saw him in Book of Mormon. Have you ever seen Book of Mormon, the play and the musical?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm not going to go into anything further than that. But it was funny. He was a couple rows in front of me, and I just went, Usher, and he hears me yelling, and he turns around. He looks, I go, "Can you get this guy out of here, please? This guy's bothering me over here." So that's the last time I told him. We were yakking back and forth. Of course, the people around us didn't like it very much, but we really didn't care. But all that great work that you're doing over there is just fantastic. So, before I let you go, I haven't asked you this, but I'm going to ask, and maybe you and I can join in. Could you just sing a little bit of Men of Erin? Oh. Just a little a cappella off the top, just the first couple, and
Please don't cry, my mother, as you sit by the hearth. I will dance your memory with joy in my heart. I will go now and pray as I travel this land and live by the lessons you gave.
The Byrnes, the Quinns, okay?
Look for a movie coming up on the Elders. We're working on it. Just want to tell you.
That is awesome. Kathy Quinn, Ian Byrne, Elders. Byrne
you.
Custom
Thank you.
Woodworking, Fox 4.
My idol, Frank.
And everything that's
Frank
great.
Boal, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen.
And I'll tell you, these are two of the
Legend.
people that we always say
What?
are make it that there's just something about Kansas City.